We'll get started. First, I want to say thank you to all of you for being here. I know this is a very difficult time, and you've been patient with us. Thank you for being respectful to our campus community over the last few days. You probably noticed that we didn't do a press conference or interviews yesterday. That's because we were focused on our families, the families of the students who were involved in this, our students here on campus, our staff, our faculty. Our first priority is taking care of our local community here on campus. So that's what we focused on yesterday. So now we're at a point where we can provide a little more information to all of you. So thank you for being respectful for that. We'll ask that you continue to do so, continue to be respectful of our students as they come through this, of our faculty and staff as we come through this together. So thank you for that. I would like to introduce some of our team members that you've probably met already over the last few days. You've probably spoken with them either on the phone or via email. Here with me are some administrative team members. Ms. Paula Smith, our CFO. She's kind of been holding down the fort here on campus for the last few days. Next to her is Ms. Amanda Guzman. She's our Director of Student Life. She's been doing all the, working all the details with the students, taking care of them, making sure that they're getting the support that they need with our counseling groups here on campus. Next to her is Dr. David Arnold. He's over our facilities, our campus steward, so he takes care of all the buildings and spaces here on campus. So he's been working to make sure that coordinate traffic and whatnot on campus the last few days. Next to him is Miss Maria Duarte. She's our communications director. She's the one who helped set up this here today, and will continue to probably correspond with each of you as we provide updates to the media. So that's just an amazing team. They've done an amazing job here over the last few days. Our president, the leader of the administrative group, Dr. Quint Thurman, is actually in Lubbock with the families of some of the students who are at the hospital recovering. And he wanted me to make sure that I also, on his behalf, told all of you thank you, not just to the media group here, but also our entire campus community, the Hobbs community, Lee County. We cannot express the extent to which the community has come together to support USW, the Mustangs, our students, faculty, staff. It's just been, these aren't the kind of things that you ever dreamed of happening. They shouldn't happen, but the family here in Hobbs and Lee County have really come together to take care of one another. And he wanted me to make sure that I reiterated that today. So he is actually over there with families as we speak this morning. So to quickly kind of recap some of the things that you probably already know, based off of reports from DPS and the groups that we've been working with, NTSB, Texas Department of Public Safety, over the last few days, you know that there was an accident with one of our teams, our golf team, coming back from competition Tuesday night. They were involved in a head-on collision with an oncoming vehicle, swerved into the lane, and resulted in a head-on collision which then created a fire and resulted in some fatalities of not only our students, but also the drivers of the other vehicle. That information has been released by DPS, but just to kind of recap some of that, from USW, Tyler James, our golf coach, male, age 26. He lived here in Hobbs, as part of our campus community. He did not survive the crash. Mauricio Sanchez, male, 19 years of age, from Mexico, one of our students, our golf players. He did not survive the crash. Travis Garcia, male, age 19, from Pleasanton, Texas. Again, one of our golf players here at USW did not survive the crash. Jackson Zinn, male, age 22, from Westminster, Colorado. One of our golf players here at USW did not survive the crash. Carissa Rains, female, age 21, from Fort Stockton. Again, one of our golf players did not survive the crash. Lacey Stone, female, age 18, from Nacona, Texas, one of our golf players. She did not survive the crash. Tiago Sousa, male, age 18, from Portugal, one of our golf players, and he did not survive the crash. Dayton Price, male, age 19, from Ontario, Canada, one of our golf players, did survive the crash, and he is undergoing medical treatment in Lubbock as we speak. Hayden Underhill, male, age 20, also from Ontario, Canada, one of our golf players, and he did survive the crash, and he is undergoing medical treatment in Lubbock. So a total of 9 occupants from USW in the bus, 7 of whom did not survive the crash, are deceased. 2 students remaining did survive and are receiving medical treatment in Lubbock. And so that's the information that most of you already know. Aside from that, all I can say is that as an institution, we are a family here, and our family extends to our students and our faculty, our staff, but also the families of our students and our faculty and staff. And many of those families are watching right now. I've spoken with all of them this morning within the last hour. They're aware of this press conference. They're watching as we speak. They know these details. In fact, they know more. They've known these details since Tuesday. The one thing that we'll continue to do is we'll continue to communicate and speak with and comfort and support those families first. So if there's ever a delay in communications to the media like this, it will only be because we are making sure that those families receive that information first. So I spoke with all of them this morning, and so they're supportive of this. They are watching this. They know these details. So we want to continue to take care of them because, again, we are a family, and that family is growing. Today, all of us are Mustangs, and we're going to continue to do that. As far as the community here in Homs, again, thank you so much to all of the organizations. We have local hotels, we have the airline group, we have restaurants, we have churches. We just have so many, and I can't name them all. There's no way that I could try to name everyone, but they have come together. They reach out. We probably hear from somebody every half hour who wants to support USW in some way. We are directing that information through Maria's office, and she's trying to put together a kind of a quick sheet, if you will, for some of those families in ways that they might be able to get some support as they travel here, as they make arrangements for the next steps. So again, thank you to all of the community. Thank you to everyone who has supported us, supported USW. Thank you for being respectful, and we are going to, we're going to continue to come together and get through this. If you're around campus, you probably noticed some banners that we have hanging up that have been here for years, and on those banners they say USW Mustangs run as one, and it's no accident that that's our motto, because that's who we are. We are a family of Mustangs. We run as one. We run together. When one of us is hurting, all of us are hurting, and that's what we're going through right now. So, having said that, I will take some questions. I can't promise you that I have all of the answers, but I can promise you that I will tell you what I do know. So if anyone would like to ask a question, I'm happy to answer if I can.
Is there anything you can say about the current state of the 2 students receiving medical care in Lubbock?
I did speak with the president last night, and they are recovering. They're making steady progress. one of the students is eating chicken soup. So spoke with the parents, and uh, they're there with them, and they are recovering every day. It's a game of inches, and every hour leads to that one step closer to another day, which is one step closer to another week, month, year, etc. So there is no indication as to how long it's going to take, but they are both stable and recovering, and every day making more and more progress. So we're happy with that.
Is there anyone who would feel comfortable just sharing how big a hole this loss leaves the campus here? I know that there's several hundred students, tight-knit community. I don't know if you, sir, the director of Student Life, whoever feels most comfortable.
I mean, I think we can probably, at some point in the future, probably have more of those personal stories, in another venue. But I will say that we are, again, a family. And for any of you that have lost a loved one or a member of your family, it's the same feeling here. They're not only students and coaches. They are loved ones to us. They are members of our family here on campus. You're going to hear that word over and over and over again. It's the Mustang family. We truly are a family. And when we lose one, let alone seven, you can imagine what that's like if you were to lose seven of your family members in one accident. You can imagine what that's like. That's what it's like for us.
Can you talk a little bit about what is being done to support the students here on campus? I know counseling services.
Absolutely.
Worship team, but with school on spring break, are there a lot of students currently on campus, or are there a lot of students away right now who are trying to deal with this on spring break?
Yes, and that's a great question. I'm glad you brought that up. We have an amazing crisis response team. We do have a campus counselor full-time that's always been here. We have a worship team. Being a private Christian university, we do have a worship team. They have responded. So in addition to that, I will say thank you to the local schools, Hobbs School System, Lovington School System, I think Jow, Eunice, all the Lee County schools have come together. They have a crisis response team, and I believe they even had them on campus yesterday, Wednesday, as part of the chapel service that we provided. So we have an overabundance of folks just providing services, counseling support, spiritual support, emotional support to students. In addition to that, your second part of your question was spring break. So we do have a very limited number of students on campus right now. So it's a small group, and it's mainly those students, those athletes who were in competition, who were traveling. But we do have students returning this weekend. And from what I've heard from Campus Life, those students they're eager to come back. They want to be here to support their family. To them, USW is a home to them, and their peers, their colleagues, or their family, and they want to come back. And we'll be working with them next week to coordinate an assembly of some sort to memorialize these students, but we want our on-campus students to be part of that, to be part of the planning for that. So as we know more about that, we'll make sure that we share that information with all of you.
I was going to ask you about that. I know the mayor yesterday, he was talking about having a vigil, or he really wanted to work with you all, have the city work with you all. So that would be part of the assembly or vigil or both?
Either or and both. And the reason I say that is because it is important to us and it's important to our students that they are involved in helping plan and arrange that. For them, that's also closure. And if you know any of our students, you know that they are very spirited, and they are fierce, and they want to not only come back and provide closure and arrange something like that to recognize and memorialize their family members, their classmates, their peers, but also begin the process of rebuilding. So, if anybody's ever met any of our students on the court or on the field, you know that they're fierce, and you know that they're going to want to come together, regroup, recover, and then rebuild. So they want to be part of that. We want them to be part of it.
For the students who might be watching this, or the family members, what's the bottom line? What message do you want to tell them?
guess I would say that we're ready to have them back, and it is time to come together as a family and support one another and do what we know that we do, and that's run as one, because that's who we are. That's what we do. Any other questions for me?
I'm not sure how well you the students have coached personally, but is there anything you can tell us about who they were as individuals and what kind of students they were? You know, I was reading some of their bios, and they all have diverse backgrounds, and just seem like amazing students.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about who they were?
Again, I think we could probably look at sometime in the future after we've had a chance to kind of come back together, start looking at some of those personal stories then. I do know that our athletic director, Coach Steve Appel, he's traveling. He did provide some information for me, but he and his athletics team and maybe some of our other folks here on campus, some of our faculty, at some point in the future would probably love to help tell some of their stories and experiences as we move forward. Yeah.
I had two different ones, but, I know you can't speak specifically, but just what's the feeling here, having, it's such a small campus, so how are you guys feeling?
I think again, that loss of losing a family member, we're going through those stages of grief. I mean, we're dealing with it, and we're making sure that our faculty and staff and our students deal with it. I will say that communicating with the parents, the families over the last 3 days, they're just amazing people. I mean, the families are amazing. They are resilient. They are supportive. They love USW, and they know that we love them. And every day, again, is another step towards recovering and rebuilding. That's what we're going through.
Will this impact the way teams travel going forward?
I don't suspect it will. It was a traffic accident, and there is no. Reading the Texas DPS report, I mean, even speaking with the public information officer, the TPDPS, he told me, he just said, Ryan, the truth is we may never know what caused this other vehicle to veer over into the lane. And I don't suspect that a traffic accident that we can't explain would change the way that teams travel. I don't suspect that would happen.
Dr. Tipton, I just have a few brief kind of acts to chat
Sure.
about a broader question about
Okay.
Mr. Sanchez from Mexico, Mr. Souza from Portugal, can you share their hometowns?
I don't have that here, but I can get that to you after the fact. Yes. Yeah.
And then, what is the enrollment of the school on campus and online?
Total. Okay. Total student body for the entire university, which includes our on-campus students, our online students, everyone, is about 1,100, 1,200 students. Of that, we have about 300 to 350 students on campus. So.
And then for the on-campus and the online, just ballpark, what is the percentage international?
Okay. I don't have that info. I can get back to it. We do have more international students on campus, but we also have online students all around the world. But the percentage is going to be much larger for the on-campus group.
And so ballpark international students on campus?
I would say, just a guess, is probably around 10%. But I can give you a more specific number later if you want like that. Yeah.
So then just the broader question is, can you talk about the success of recruiting international students to the school? What's that due to? Is it because of sports? Is it because of Baptist networks in other countries?
So for most of our on-campus students, I mean, we do have an outstanding athletics group with extensive connections with their sports, with their teams, and they do just an outstanding and amazing job of recruiting a diverse group of students, and that includes those from other countries. So it's primarily due to our recruitment efforts of our athletic and coaching staff. So they do a great job at that.
We're going to ask it another way. What do you think draws international students to like study in Austin?
I think it's that network. They're attracted to the family environment that we offer here at USW, but also they have a very strong network within their sport and their that within, again, because part of their sport is being a part of a family. I mean, they develop that family environment, and it's what they get here, and they have close ties to their sport, to their families, and they fit right in at USW. They fit right in with who we are. So they love it here, and they become part of the family here. In addition to what we had just kind of spoken with about the memorial service or the assembly, is that what you're referring to? Oh, okay. Okay, like a dedicated space. We haven't spoken about that yet, but I'm sure that's something that will probably come up in the future. Everybody's a Mustang right now to us. We always talk about the USW family, the USW campus community being a family. I think for all of us, we just weren't aware of how extensive that family is and could be. But that is something that we have, all of us have spoken about, just the outpouring of support from in our local community, not only in our local community, but all across the country. We have large organizations just reaching out to us. What can they do to help? So I think all of us have always been familiar with our community here and our family here. We just didn't realize how extensive that family really could be.
Can you tell us, has the university ever experienced any kind of a tragedy like this? And going forward, is there anything that y'all can do to prevent something like this from happening?
Well, to your first question, for those of you that are familiar with Hobbs in Lee County, you might remember a couple, 3 years ago, there was an incident off campus. Some of our students were at an event, and there was a shooting off campus at a different location, and some of our students were injured in it, and there was a student who lost his life, and so that we have experienced loss before, and we have also had we had a staff member a couple years ago who was killed in a car wreck heading home for Christmas break. So we have experienced loss, and I think that's how all of us here are familiar with how our family comes together during this. Now, obviously, this is an entirely different set of circumstances, a different time, different place, and it never gets easy losing someone that is part of your family. But I do know that our family always comes through, and as far as preventing things like this, loss of this type of accidents that that we don't have any control over, I don't think that there aren't things that we can do to prevent something like this. A traffic accident, there aren't things that we can do to prevent something like this, I don't believe. But being a private Christian faith-based university, we also place our faith in something bigger than ourselves, and that's what helps us heal. So I think we'll continue to do that.
Anything you can expand on the faith and family culture you guys have had on campus even before this week?
Well, yes. I mean that's part of who we are. That's our mission. If you're familiar with the university, if you look at our mission is grounded in the teachings of Jesus, the Word of God, belief in something more than just yourself, and serving something more than just yourself. Servant leadership is the core of who we are in our mission, and we live that, we breathe it, and it's our students are here because of it, our faculty and staff are here because of it, and so it helps us come together knowing that belief in God, faith in God, and in a higher power, and in something, believing in something and being part of something bigger than just yourself helps us get through something like this. And our students know that, our faculty and staff know that, and that'll continue to be part of who we are.
Ryan, do you think that the intimate nature of the campus, the smaller campus, the more close-knit than perhaps at a larger university, do you think that helps? Obviously, there's no easy way to cope with something like this, but do you think it helps that coming together and coping a little easier isn't the right word, and I don't know the right word.
Absolutely, I believe so. Everyone here, our students, faculty, staff, and obviously the families of our students as well, know, they knew it before, but they especially know it now, that they're not alone. They're never alone. When you're a Mustang, and you're a Mustang for life, and you're part of something much bigger than just yourself, and it does help knowing that they've got that supportive network, and that they can reach out to anyone, that they can walk into my office, that knowing that the president of the university right now is not here speaking to you. He's actually over in Lubbock, sitting with the families of the two that are being treated for recovery right now. Knowing that that's the type of university that we are, that we're not going to leave you alone, that we do run as one, does make it a little bit easier, I think, for lack of a better word.
Do you think it impacts the campus and the students and the faculty a little harder than it would at perhaps a larger university, where people would tend to be more anonymous?
Oh, you mean, yes, okay, you mean knowing that we're such a tight-knit group. Well, yeah, obviously, I mean, losing a member of your family versus losing a complete stranger is going to be different. And here at USW, there are no complete strangers. I mean, everyone's a member of the family. Absolutely, and I'm glad you brought that up. So there are, from what I've seen and heard, there are multiple GoFundMe opportunities being set up by friends of some of the students, family members, and I think that's wonderful. I think those things are great, and obviously I would never discourage anyone for wanting to do something to help. But I'll also say that as an institution, we can't police all of those. And with all of those wonderful things that people do to try to help, there's also always the risk for malicious activity, for those bad actors who don't want to act in the best interest of folks that they know. But the university does have one victims fund page set up, account set up that people can donate to, and that's the only account that we can officially endorse or say, this is one that we know that the university has access to, that runs through the institution, that we can promise that those monies are being used for the family, and that is available on the website. And if you want more information about where that is, Maria Duarte can pass that along to you.
Have you spoken to the parents of the international students, and can you tell us about how that has affected them since this tragedy happened so far away from home?
I've spoken with the parents of all of the students. In fact, I just got off the phone with all of them this morning, right before the press conference started, including the international students. And they are, they're just amazing people. One set, obviously, of parents family is in Portugal and one is in Mexico. And getting in touch in the beginning at midnight on a Tuesday is a little challenging, but we finally got through and we spoke, and that is one thing that they've said, we're so far away, what can we do? And I've acted as liaison between them and Texas DPS to try to make sure that they know that sometimes the best thing that we can do right now is wait, because they want to be here. They want to do all of the things that they've got to do to take the next steps. And because there is a process, there's a process for the investigation, there's a process for the medical examiner's process. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to wait, so I am communicating with them every day, 2 or 3 times a day. So I do think that, again, being small, being a family type of university, that being able to communicate with me and the president directly, I think makes that a little bit easier.
Is there a message that you'd like to give those communities that now may be looking, in this direction because of what happened?
I think just keep us in your prayers. Be thinking about us. Maybe hug the ones that you love a little bit tighter tonight, and don't take anything for granted. But more than anything, just keep us in your prayers as we recover. Any other questions for me, or any of the other team up here? Anyone else on the team?
Unless there's something that any of you would like to add, we can
I think I can speak freely for all of us that our
Oh, sure.
I'm usually loud enough. And you're not going to go away.
Okay.
We trust him completely, and he has spearheaded this. And our institution is crushed and broken, but strong. And he has led the way. And that is why he is here and we are there. So he's answered your questions well. We appreciate you.
I will say that the team at USW that's working through this, you just won't find better people. You won't find a better team. I had to travel back to campus. I wasn't on campus when I got the call, so I got here late last night, and this group here didn't miss a beat. They were here all the way through. They were supporting students all the way through. They were working with you all the way through. You just won't find a better, and I don't even want to use the word team, family, a better family of people to support our students through this. And Dr. Thurman, our president, recognizes that. We were on the phone for quite a while last night, and he had the same thing. He told me the same thing. He said, Ryan, USW, we have the most amazing team of people, the most amazing family of faculty, staff, students. You just won't find it anywhere else. USW is small, but it is the most special place that you'll find for what we do. You just won't find another place like it. And we're going to get through this. We are. So if there aren't any other questions, again, thank you all for your time. Thanks for being here. We'll continue to keep you informed of anything else that might come up, and when it's time to offer some more information, we'll sure do that, and that'll come from Maria Duarte's office. And I do have some cards here. I'll leave them on the podium for you. So it's got my office phone, my cell phone on there, so you're welcome to reach out to me anytime, and we'll just take it one step at a time. All right.
I know it's Paula, right?
Yes.
Yeah, can we get your complete name, if you still have it?
Sure.
And your title?
It's Paula Smith, and I'm the Vice President for Financial Services and CFO.
And Smith spelled S-M-I-T.
Yes, I'm very simple.
All right. Thanks, everybody.